we're going to dig a little bit into each one of these. I'm super excited, Anna, to talk about these. And I don't want this to get into a too negative place, because the point of this is not your data culture is on fire. But what we're talking about here is ways to look really critically at this component of a data culture, understand if this is an area where your school actually needs some targeted support, some focus and intervention to improve, and then some ways that we can make some improvements. And if I were to ask you, like, what might it look or sound like if a school had a trust problem when it comes to their data culture? What are some things that would come to mind to you? What are some of those, like, ooh, red flags?
I think that, so I've been there in like the back to school class, the back to school meeting, and your admin is bringing all the tools that you're going to use that year, and they're setting the targets. But if there's not any opportunity for collaboration and input from the teachers on what those targets are, I'm scared as a teacher or as a coach, because I am not sure if my input is going to be valid. Mm-hmm. What I would love to see is I'd love to see access to last year's data. So mm-hmm. for admin, part of developing trust is building that relationship within the community, within the school community. So a lot of the time you're a third grade teacher, you're looking at the third grade curriculum, but who you really want to talk to is the second grade teacher. Right? They just had all the kids and they know. And if you don't have time for that exchange and building trust and all of that really rich qualitative data that the second grade teacher has, something's going to be lost. So I think there's trust between staff. I'd started talking about earlier, trust between students and teachers. There's trust at every level of relationship. And I love when transparency around data is there, because that fosters trust.
Yeah.
Because it's open.
I love that you talked about the trust between teachers. You know, this isn't just a relationship between each individual teacher and the principal or the instructional coach. A community of trust means that everyone has really high faith that everybody else is operating with the best of intentions, with the best information, and the best of their abilities. And the opposite of that is shame. You know, I can remember feeling those times when I really wanted to close my classroom door and not let anyone in, because I was nervous that something my students might look too loud, or we might be, I don't know, I didn't feel safe that another teacher could see what was happening in my classroom and instantly know this is great teaching, you know? So I think about what mistrust looks like, you know, and how you know that a teacher might be nervous to share their data or to really look at their data with their instructional coach. Yeah, that's too bad. And I think, you know, to your point earlier, repairing trust takes a lot of work. When I think about some of the ways that a school administrator can do that, I think in a previous conversation we had, you mentioned teacher intuition, that like as pedagogical experts, teachers take in thousands of data points every hour in terms of who's out of their seat and who has a pencil that's not sharp and who didn't turn in their homework. And it's just a constant influx of data. And they're so used to making really fast decisions without even thinking about it. And so honoring that and realizing that teachers are true data experts and that they're already really far along their data analysis journey does a lot to repair trust, you know.
Absolutely.
And again, I come back to vulnerability. I would love to see administrators be vulnerable and instructional coaches be vulnerable and to treat each other with care and consideration, you know?
Yeah. Without jumping too much ahead to other points, because of course these all are interwoven, but thinking about this particular pillar, when administrators are looking for the path forward for experts for what are we going to do to improve. I think what's most often overlooked is all of the experts they have in their building.
Hmm.
One way you develop trust is by acknowledging, like you just said, that most of the expertise is going to come from their staff.
Yeah.
You don't need another, the answer is not just another program. The answer is the staff who are here and who keep coming every day and who care about the kids and the program. So I think any way to recognize teacher well-being, to recognize teacher expertise, that develops trust.
Yeah. I love that. And I think we're going to keep coming back to trust as we unpack some of the other ones too, because it's just so foundational to building any sort of advanced data culture, you know. There's no ignoring it.